Hey everyone, before I get started, I just want to remind you that if you like my content, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and then join the Militia Man and Crew Patreon community by clicking the link in the caption. Hey, good afternoon everybody. It's Friday and Militia Man and Crew here. I just want to say hello. Everybody have a wonderful Friday, and don't make it a freaky one. Make it a fabulous one. Listen, there's been some things that happened yesterday and in the last few days. And in brief, I shared with my room last night some of the things that I came across yesterday. Obviously, there's good news out each and every day. And sometimes there's just some days things resonate to everybody. Sometimes they don't. And in this particular case, what I'm going to try to do is put a couple of the pieces of the puzzle together for you. And what I mean by that is that there's been things that have happened in a subsequent manner. So for instance, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 items that have transpired that aren't exactly for, they're probably just components, like kind of like a spider web, if you will, because you got this one and this one and this one and all that. But they do kind of get to a focus, which is, at the end of the day is going to be Article 140, for instance. The hydrocarbon law is another, around that, the 2024 budget that is talked about. So those are some of the kind of components that we're going to talk about. So, but at least this is going to be very interesting that we know that the Deputy Director of the Prime Minister's Office, his name's Ali Razuki, I guess, if that's pronounced right, of course. So today we participated in an important celebration to receive the draft of the new income tax law, which is considered one of the outcomes of the tax reform conference held last December, indicating that there is no money collected or grants given in Iraq except by law. So when they say that, they're telling us that there were certain things that likely didn't get done or haven't been done just yet because they needed to have a law in place. And the implications of this are that that is in place. And I attribute this to the investment side of the law of the 2024 budget. And that's why they bring it up again, because they haven't been talking about the 2024 budget specifically, and especially when it comes to taxation. So anyway, this last part quotation, there is no money collected or grants given in Iraq except by law. This last quotation tells me there was a need for the taxation law to be sorted. And I just believe that that's probably what we're going to find if that's the case. This gentleman goes on and adds that the collecting income tax requires a transparent legal cover. Okay, so collecting income tax from all the new non-oil revenues, etc., is going to be a very important component of this. Hey, a pleasant surprise, you guys. Ophelia decided to come in and join us. She's getting to be a little old lady now, and she's doing good. She's purring up a storm, but anyway, she had to come in, had to interrupt, and so it's pretty cool. What do you think? She pretty or what? Yeah, she's a good girl. Anyway, thanks for being patient with Ophelia, everybody. This last part of that quotation, again, was, to me, there was a need for that taxation law to be sorted. It says collecting income tax requires a transparent legal cover. This came with the recommendations that did not leave ink on paper, as they put it, as the Prime Minister described, to follow up on the decisions of the tax reform and conference, which worked intensively with the international organizations, one of which is the German GIZ organization. I tell you this, you guys, didn't really know much about the GIZ, and I still haven't done a whole heck of a lot of research into it, but I do know that they're big, international, out of Germany, and they have a huge amount of international experience. So they showed up on the scene probably within the last month or so, as far as publicly. They could have been there for as long as Ernst & Young's been there for it. I don't know. But anyway, ultimately, I believe what we will find is that they wrote the legislation for the country of Iraq to get their tax law into where it's going to be. And I'm assuming that will reflect on Iraq going into the private sector. It says several meetings were held inside and outside of Iraq, which led to the issuance of an important draft of that income tax law. which appears to be the case. So it says, look, so no money or grants, in my opinion, no money or grants could be issued without it in place. So in other words, at the beginning, we talked about that. No money collected, grants given, except by law. Okay. In this case, that's what we're talking about. So no money gets granted or issued without a law in place. So if they're going to do grants, they've got to have money for to put that money out. The investment law is where I believe they're talking about. So it's not correct for the country's budget to depend on oil and its fluctuating price, and thus the economy's economic system will be shaken if they do so, I guess. Explaining that ensuring a stable resource through an accurate and transparent and fair tax system is a fundamental building block in building a solid, independent economic system for the country. So if you think about these new systems, these new blockchain systems, they have what? They have all of that. They have accuracy, they have transparency, they have it's to be fair, and it's ultimately having all of those things is a fundamental building block for that economic system of any country, any quality economic system, okay? So if you then add in this little bit in the denial of issuing paying salaries by the financial minister, the Ministry of Finance would like to clarify to the public that what has been recently circulated by some figures regarding statements that are attributed to the Finance Ministry regarding the ministry's inability to pay the salaries of the employees in the coming months is completely false. So they're debunking that. They're not going to have that. My understanding is that they've had the 23, 24, 25 budget set up to where that all operational and payments for salaries are paid because they have that money set aside constitutionally, is my understanding of it. And then you got to say this, is that the investment side hasn't been broached yet. Why? Because they haven't started spending that money yet in the context that we expect it to be. Remember, they have the I think it's the K2 account, Iraq account, not K2, Iraq account, Iraq something or other. Anyway, maybe it's Iraq 2. Yeah, I think it is called Iraq 2, by the way. Anyway, they have the money for investments that come out of that account, and that's allowable for certain types of things, just like it always has been, because it's in the legal limits of using oil money, okay? Not just dinar, but oil money. But anyway, that's in dollars. But it says here, the ministry affirms its full commitment to disbursing salaries on specified dates to employees, retirees, social welfare, various security branches, including the salaries of the members of the Popular Mobilization Forces, yada yada, in accordance with the applicable laws and regulations. That's the main point. It's they're doing it with applicable laws and regulations. So now I'm assuming they're going to be talking about investment here soon. Maybe not tonight, but we're going to talk about a little bit of it. It says we can see a correlation in the budget tables they mentioned. So in these articles, you're going to see in this below, and the support that I have for it is going to be in this body of what we're going to be talking about. It says a salary grant for employees of Ministry of Electricity is being secured, and part of it has been audited by the monthly electricity wage lists of the centrally funded departments, which are sent to us by the Ministry of Electricity, and then the reinforcement is made to the companies of the ministry upon their request, as it is considered a revenue for the companies affiliated with the ministry, and a resource to cover the needs of the companies to finance their remaining treasury from the salaries of these members. All right, electricity wages are revenues that must be collected, paid through the electricity ministry, recorded as revenue for the state's general treasury, to finance the rest of the current and investment expenses. Okay, investment expenses. There you go. At the Ministry of Electricity, for instance, which includes allocations in the state's general budget and according to what is included in the revenue tables for the budget estimates for the year 2024. Remember those amendments that were supposed to be voted on? That would be placed into the budget estimates for the year 2024. So then they have this inclusive, right? So the revenue tables for the budget estimates for the year 2024. So tables, you guys, those are numbers for the budget. And obviously they're talking about investment. Okay, so that's Have they exposed that yet? No, they haven't. They haven't. And some of these things that they're talking about, they specifically say they're not going to because some of that stuff is sensitive. So they must have things underway, done already, or just haven't timed it yet just right. But we're going to find out. All we can do is watch and see. The Council of Ministers in the House of Representatives by Parliamentary Resolution number 64 of 2024, which includes approval to the estimates of the budget law tables for the year 2024. So the PRN 64 of 2024 includes approval of the estimates of the budget law tables. You guys got to love that. I looked today on the Ministry of the Judiciary Ministry, their official, like a gazette, if you will, and 4782 is not there. Okay, it's not there, but again, there's a reason for it. Doesn't mean it's not done. I don't know, but it's not there. So if you guys do your own research, probably see that I'm right, that it's not there. But that doesn't mean that is. It's not going to be. So anyway, so to spend money, they need the tax law sorted, as my view. And I would say that if they have that sorted, at this time, they should be able to start spending money. Nobody's been talking about this law, which is the tax law that I mentioned. And obviously not many people have been talking about the Parliamentary Resolution 64 of 2024. This is the first time we've seen that out regarding anything in the 2024 budget in quite a long time. So today, which was yesterday, they're not only talking about the taxation in the 2024 budget tables related to the spending in both cases, they say that the Article 140 has effectively no oppositions, no obstructions, hence the stop short of flat out telling us that the budget is completed due to its sensitivities. Interesting. Okay, so on Thursday, the representative of the Suleimania government, Soran Omar, announced that the 5 Kurdish blocs in the Council of Representatives have agreed to unify their position to support a draft law aimed at canceling the Baath's party's decisions related to agricultural lands in the areas covered by Article 140 of the Constitution. They go on to stress that there's no need to obstruct its passage by the Shia or the Sunni blocs. Says Omar said in a post on his personal accounts that in the news outlets that are in the Kurdish region, the 5 Kurdish blocs in the House of Representatives is in the presence of the Deputy of the Parliament, held a meeting with Hadi Amiri, head of the government's Article 140 Implementation Committee, to discuss the draft law to cancel that Baath's party's decisions related to agricultural lands in Kirkuk and other areas under Article 140, indicating that these decisions have always been an obstacle in restoring rights to their owners. Look, they're going to be telling you that they're going to ensure its passage. Okay, so we have held 6 meetings so far with the Shia and Sunni blocs in the presence of Mohsen al-Mandalawi. He's the acting Speaker of the House, which, by the way, everybody should know this, is that he's fully capable of getting constitutional laws over the edge. And that's just the way it is. You guys can look it up. It's a fact. The Minister of Justice, who was all there? Yeah, Shakwan Abdullah, the Deputy Speaker of the Parliament, Khalad Shawani, the Ministry of Justice, Hadi Al-Amiri, the head of the Article 140 Implementation Committee. And what are they there for? To ensure that this project passes without opposition from other blocs. It's pretty big, you guys. I think I like it. So it goes on to say that in an informed source Monday, there's a group called the We Build Coalition. It says the head of the Supreme Committee for the Implementation of Article 140 of the Constitution, Hadi Amiri, attended Parliament to study the possibility of approving the law, returning properties to their owners or not. And the news outlets basically state that the head of the Supreme Committee for the Implementation of Article 140 of the Constitution, Hadi Amiri, has been present in the House of Representatives at 1 p.m. yesterday afternoon. And they're going to go on to say that Amiri held a meeting immediately upon his arrival to the council in the Constitutional Hall. The acting Speaker of the Council, basically, and the second Deputy Speaker, with the head of the blocs, in the presence of all the members of the Parliamentary Committee, representatives of Kirkuk and government. Okay, so it was all the whole gang was there. And again, what are they going to be doing? They're going to try and get this thing passed. Yesterday at 3:30, it says it was agreed not to talk to the media about what happened in the meeting from the agreement regarding voting on the law to return properties to their owners, especially in Kirkuk. So they openly tell you that they agreed to keep quiet. They're going to tell you why, okay? And they go on to say that they were basically, it says, in order to reach an agreement on whether to pass the law or not, that's what the meeting was about, but they were going to say they did this without mentioning any further details. So they're trying to keep it hush-hush. Okay? 4782 is not there, you guys. And you got to say, if they're going to do Article 140 and you're going to have a hydrocarbon law, you're going to need to have an exchange rate, an official exchange rate. So anyway, would that be sensitive? Of course it would. An official statement issued by the House of Representatives, received by the agency today, which was yesterday, immediately discussed the results of the work of the government committee, and it says the work of the committee and completed stages of implementing Article 140. It doesn't say they completed all the stages. It says completed stages of implementing Article 140 in cooperation with the ministries and relevant authorities. I've said this now 3 or 4 times, that it didn't say it was 100% completed. Basically, they're telling you, here, I'll get to it. It says the Kirkuk government enjoys a special status of the draft law to return properties to their owners. Included in some of these decisions is the dissolved Revolutionary Command Council, and its stability requires maintaining cooperation between the 3 authorities and taking into account the sensitivity of this file by the various political forces. All right. So when you put all that together, in my view, it's been a massive issue telling us what they are doing, and the most sensitive bits and pieces to be exposed will have to be, I guess, maybe by al-Sudani and al-Awlaq. When are they going to do that? I don't know. I know that al-Sudani has an expectation to be coming to the United States in a few days. So we're going to have to watch and see how he does and what he does and when he does it. But I do know that the UN Assembly meeting, the whole thing will transpire for about, I think, from the 10th of September and on all the way out to the 30th. I understand there's a special debate date for the Tuesday. I don't know if Sudan is going to be there on that date. I don't know. They said, one case, they said that he would begin his journey next week. Well, next week starts today. Okay, or early next week. Well then, whatever early is, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or mid. No, Monday, Tuesday, right? Okay, so we'll see how it goes. But anyway, when they talked about the taxation, it should have your eyes peeled because they didn't have the law, but now they do. Taxation is, they couldn't give out any grant money. They couldn't give out investment monies. And then they talked about the 2024 budget. They talked about that parliamentary aspect of Parliament, 64, and they also talked about sensitivities. They talked about keeping quiet about it, and my understanding is today they were very quiet about it, and I think that comes from a really good source. But again, people that have the ability to get information were not getting anything, and so they're basically doing what they said they were going to do. They're going to keep it sensitive, the sensitive things quiet. So it's all good. I think it's great. Al-Sudani is coming for what? He's going to show off his achievements. Let's hope that his achievements, well before he leaves, he finishes some of those achievements. I think he and al-Awlaq, and he's under the gun again today in the news for supposedly trying to be dismissed. But I'm pretty sure that this is a lot of misinformation in the news. We have to be very careful about what we talk about here, is because a lot of this stuff is, it's hard to decipher. We all know that. It's all good though, because we've got a pretty good flair with Militiaman and Crew. Patreon.com/MMAND and CREW. Come in and see what we have. We have almost, geez, you guys, it's been about 18 months to 2 years going on, full of information. Discord's packed. Samson has been hitting it out of the park this last week. It's unbelievable amount of data that we have. And the chat room flows so smoothly now. It's a great place. You got wonderful people, brilliant people in there, and I want to thank everybody for supporting us. And we appreciate those donations at Zelle, Venmo, PayPal. All of those work. So please, if you like my content, hit the subscribe button, and let's keep this place rocking and rolling and see what we do next. Okay? Thank you very much, and have a great weekend. Once again, guys, don't forget to hit that like button if you like this content, subscribe to the channel, or join us at the Militia Man and Crew Patreon community for even more exclusive content. You can also donate to this channel by hitting the links in the banner to help keep this page up and running. Your generous support is greatly appreciated, as always. Much, much appreciated. Thank you so much, and have a great day.